Do you want to hear the most chaotic first powerlifting competition story you've ever heard in your life? Take a seat, grab some popcorn. Let's talk about it. First of all, to tell you how I got to my powerlifting competition, I have to take it all the way back to where I first heard about powerlifting. I was squatting and pretty heavy too. This older gentleman comes up to me and he says, "Hey, do you compete?" I was confused because I knew I wasn't muscular and I wasn't that lean. So he couldn't be talking about bodybuilding, which was the only thing I really heard about in terms of competitions at that point. I was like, "Compete in what?" He says, "Powerlifting?" Like, duh. I was like, "Oh, no, I don't." And he just walked away. That night, I went on my computer and I was furiously Googling powerlifting. What is powerlifting? My source of info came from a Facebook group. They linked me to the event page on USPA that showed all of the powerlifting competitions in the area. I found one that was 12 days away. I signed up for that competition in a lower weight class. I cut over 10 pounds, barely making weight, didn't have a coach, never followed a powerlifting program. I was simply doing progressive overloading. I did a water cut. I was 5 pounds overweight the day before weigh-ins, barely made weight. Let me walk you through weigh-ins. I took Nutella sandwiches. I had my cousin with me and she ate my Nutella sandwiches while I was waiting to be weighed in. When I first stepped on the scale, I was not at weight. I was at like 149 or 150 pounds when I weighed in the first time. So I continued to do whatever stupid protocol that I had Googled or heard of, stripped down, and I think my weigh-in was 148.5 on the dot. So I barely make weight. Whatever. That night I had all you can eat Korean barbecue. The next day I go into the competition. I have never seen a powerlifting competition before. I have no idea what the flow is. I thought we were going to do like squat, bench, deadlift, and then our second attempts and then our third attempts. I had no idea that you squatted all your attempts first. I had no idea about the rosters. I don't know the rules. During that time period, I had just found out about belts. I had ordered a belt from Inzer. I ordered my singlet. I ordered all the things. I show up. My belt, I had never even really used it in training. I took it to my competition thinking I would use it, but I couldn't figure out how to use the belt. I had taken so much pre-workout. I was like all over the place. I was going to the bathroom every 2 seconds. My family was there watching me. They're like, "What is going on?" I had no idea about the order of lifting. I just basically would hear my name and I would go and lift the weight. My very first attempt squat, I was one of the first ones to go. I am cracked out on pre-workout out of my mind. And I go to open with 165. I go into the bar and I'm like, "Lightweight, baby." And the head ref goes, "What?" Like he couldn't hear what I was saying. And I repeated myself, 165-pound squat. And I was saying, "Lightweight, baby," like I'm Ronnie Coleman squatting 800 pounds. I'm so annoying. I squat 165 pounds and I'm immediately red lighted. What happened? I skipped the commands. I literally did not wait for him to tell me to rack and I just racked the bar. So my friends that I met at the competition said, definitely just repeat that same number until you get it because you don't want to miss it and bomb out. So I repeated 165 for my second attempt. I listened to the commands and everything. I was a good girl and I got the second lift. I skipped my planned second attempt because I took my first attempt for my second and went for 215 for my third attempt squat. Missed it for depth. I got one squat out of 3. I was absolutely having the time of my life. Between squats and bench, I remember there being like 2 hours of break in between. So we start bench and the friends that I met said, "Go a little conservative, make sure you're following the commands, make sure you're pausing," so on and so forth. I did my attempts for bench and I was conservative. I followed the commands. I got all 3 lifts and I was even called a sandbagger. That was really great. Then we had another 2 hours and it was late in the afternoon. It was past 4 o'clock when we started deadlifts. By this point, my parents, my family, and my friends who had come to support me had left. They were so tired and it was a long day. At this point, my friend said, you know what, just go all out with your deadlifts. I did. I hit almost a 300-pound deadlift for my first meet, so that was amazing. I ended up with a 578-pound total, 271 dots for my very first competition. I didn't even place, but I was so excited. I felt like I had accomplished the biggest feat in the universe. You could not tell me otherwise. Not being athletic, not ever competing before, I felt like I found my spot, you know? It was such an amazing feeling. And even though I screwed up literally everything I could possibly screw up, I still had the time of my life. I didn't stick around for awards. I mean, obviously, I didn't earn any awards, but I remember just leaving, booking it after I was done. It was a long day. Back in the day, things weren't as smooth as they are now. I learned so much from that competition. Unfortunately, I repeated a lot of my mistakes and I overcorrected a lot of my mistakes. But I'm about to do my 9th competition and I'm so excited. I wonder if I'm gonna hit any all-time PRs at this meet. I would love to. I don't know. We'll see. If you think you had a crazy meet, if you think you had a terrible meet, I'm sure it wasn't as chaotic as mine. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to hear more about my powerlifting journey, please let me know in the comments. Happy competing. Bye.